Good evening, everyone. This is the President and Board of Trustees regular meeting 2020-106. It's March 23rd, 2021 at 7:31 p.m. We're upstairs in the Village Hall Auditorium. Jane, could you please take the roll?
President Barry?
Here.
Trustee Olenichik will not be here tonight. Trustee Desmond will not be here tonight. Trustee Phelan?
Here.
Trustee Vorder?
Here.
Trustee Stalker?
Here.
And Trustee Mello would like to participate by phone.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion, please, to allow Trustee Mello to participate by
So
phone?
moved.
Thank you. That was Trustee Stalker. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Vorder is our second. Any discussion, gentlemen? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
And Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
And passes.
Hi, Trustee Mello. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Excellent, thank you, very good. Would everyone rise, please, for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'm informed we have no public comments. So we're going to move on to conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? And hearing none, we're going to move on to item 5, Police Club Officer of the Year, Pat O'Donnell Award Presentation. Chief Vittorio, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Board, thank you for allowing me to do this. Every year, the Police Club awards an Officer of the Year for actions that they took to win the award. Usually, we give this out every year at our installation dinner. However, due to COVID, we're not having one. Hopefully, we'll be able to have one next year. This year's recipient for 2020 is Officer Pat O'Donnell. Pat has been with the department for 6.5 years. In 2020, Officer O'Donnell had 25 felony and 35 misdemeanor arrests, which is very productive considering the COVID pandemic and months of minimizing contacts. Most notably, Officer O'Donnell has had 3 felony arrest warrants for fleeing and eluding on his own traffic stops. Officer O'Donnell went beyond what is expected by completing these investigations on his own from the beginning to the end, including photo lineups, reports, evidence collection, and having arrest warrants approved in court. On top of this, he also applied and obtained a search warrant to seize a vehicle that fled from his traffic stop, which was parked on private property. This enabled the department to submit the vehicle for asset forfeiture. Officer O'Donnell has a history of obtaining narcotics, money, guns during his traffic stops. Officer O'Donnell's tenacity has yielded 2 handguns in 2020 taken from felons, one which was on active parole for bank robbery. Additionally, on 2 occasions in 2020, Officer O'Donnell had discovered illegal narcotics on offenders who had developed into confidential informants for our tactical unit. 2 of these investigations in 2020 have led to search warrants that yielded a substantial amount of drugs, money, and guns. Officer O'Donnell is an asset to the Oak Lawn Police Department and the citizens of Oak Lawn. Officer O'Donnell's outstanding performance and informal leadership serves as a model for other patrol officers. With all that being said, congratulations, Pat.
Would you like to say a few words?
I would, thank you.
Thank you.
Without the mask.
Could we take one without the mask?
Oh, sure. So used to it.
I know.
Because then it could be anybody.
I'm good, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'd like to introduce my family. My mother, Deborah, over here. My sister, Erin. My wife, Amanda. My dad, James. And then my daughter, Macy, here, 3 months old. So I'd just like to say a few words. Good evening. I'm honored and humbled to have been chosen by my peers as this year's recipient of the John Murdoch Officer of the Year Award. I could not have achieved this without the support and encouragement of my fellow officers. That being said, it's been a difficult year for law enforcement nationwide. However, I'm inspired by the hard work and dedication displayed every day by the officers of this department. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my wife, Amanda, for her tireless support of me. It's not easy being married to a police officer, let alone me, and she has never once complained. Thank you to my parents, James and Deborah. I would not be the man I am today without them. Lastly, thank you to the Oaklawn Police Club for its charitable service and its support and recognition of the efforts of the men and women of this police department. I'd like to share a quick story, which has kind of stuck with me this past year. Back in July, while I was at a block party handing out stickers and frisbees to kids and letting them play with the lights and speaker on the Hummer, several residents came up to me inquiring about the nights of May 31st and June 1st. That weekend, Chicago experienced widespread rioting and looting, some of which spilled into Oak Lawn. These residents told me how they monitored the police scanner all day and all night, listening to the multiple reports of burglary and numerous foot pursuits resulting in the apprehension of felonious criminals. They told me how thankful they were for the tenacity, fortitude, and professionalism demonstrated by the Oak Lawn Police Department on not just those days, but every day. This reminded me not only how important the work we do every day is to the community, but that the majority of this community appreciates and supports its police, and I am truly thankful for that. During the night of May 31st, numerous officers on their days off volunteered to come to work in an effort to help their fellow officers and combat the increased criminal activity from the riots. These are the officers of the Oak Lawn Police Department. Officers who, upon hearing of this activity, could not sit on the sidelines while their teammates responded to these events and instead volunteered to leave their families and the safety of their homes to support their fellow officers. I am proud to work alongside each and every one of the fine men and women of this department. Thank you.
Congratulations. We're very proud of you and all our Oaklawn first responders. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any trustees want to add anything, or chief? Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Nice to see the family. That little baby is adorable. So precious.
She probably wants to say a few words.
Thank you very much. Okay. We have item 6, approval of the meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes 2021-05, dated March 9th, 2021. May I have a motion on 6, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Trustee Phelan made that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Trustee Warder. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item 7, new business by village trustees. I'm going to start, Paul has to, Trustee Mallow, did you care to,
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. I just wanted to say that first, my congratulations to Officer O'Donnell. I'm sure it's very well deserved. Keep up the great work. Secondly, I'd like to remove items B and C as far as from the consent agenda.
okay, we have a motion to remove those items B and C from the consent agenda. B like boy, C like cat, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
We're in new business, though, right?
no, we're gonna do this first.
Okay. I'll second.
Okay, the motion by Trustee Mallow, seconded by Trustee Warder. Any discussion? Call the vote. We're removing items B and C from the consent agenda.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
And
And
I'd like to
Thank you, Mayor.
move B and C to the next item on the agenda.
so you'd like to advance those agenda items?
Yes.
Okay, to the next, okay. So this
Second.
is 9B and 9C, a motion to advance from Trustee Warder, seconded by Trustee Mallow. Any discussion? Let's call the vote on it, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Warder?
Yeah.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna just read number 9B like boy. a request to approve the Architectural Review and Preservation Commission referral for an honorary street sign for Jim and Joanne Bushbach, which is a 6-0 vote to approve, Grant Avenue at 97th Street. The petitioner is Julie Miller, formerly the Oak Lawn Chamber of Commerce Executive Director in District 3. And then C is an ordinance granting that request. May I have a motion on 9B and C?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Mallow made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Stalker is our second. Thank you. I want to advise the board that Ms. Miller was not able to attend, unfortunately, but we do have a chamber representative here. May I call him to the podium to say a few words, or do any of the trustees want to speak first?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I did have a few things. I just wanted to take this time to speak about the honorary sign for Jim and Joan Bushbach. Wanted to recognize Jim for all the amazing things he's done in his life and for this village. I've known Jim for a few years, and when I was first elected, he was always willing to meet and discuss items that impacted the village. The Bushbach Insurance Company and World Travel Mart stable in Oak Lawn for a very, very long time, and this proposed sign is a small token of our appreciation of him and his wife, and a nice way to honor Jim for what he has done for the village of Oak Lawn over the years. Thank you, Madam.
Beautiful. Thank you, Trustee Mallow. Mr. Costello, would you care to come to the microphone here? And then we ask that you state your name, please, just for the record. It's up to you.
I'll put it back on very quickly.
I know.
My name is Phil Costello. I'm on the executive committee for Oak Lawn Chamber of Commerce, and it gave me a great honor to be here speaking for Julie Miller. As the mayor had mentioned, could not be here tonight. She was really wanting to make this statement, so I will do my best to interject her thoughts in a brief way, I might add. This is about the honorary Joanne and Jim Bushbach Way street sign. There is not enough time to describe all of their contributions to Oak Lawn over the past 5 decades, plus decades. I have only knew Jim for 6 very short years, and he became a friend, and I mentioned to Julie Miller how inspired I was based on his life and everything that he did for the Park District, the Chamber, the village, and I just wanted to draw your attention to that. He was just a fabulous man that truly inspires and should inspire everyone. The compilation of testimonials in the village board packet says it all. If you haven't read them, I would encourage you to do so, as it is truly a feel-good story. One of the comments that sums it all up is this sign that will stand the test of time, just as Jim did. Julie also wanted to thank the Architectural Review and Preservation Commission for considering this request and the referral of the honorary street sign to this board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil. Phil, quick, is this a surprise?
I'm sorry, what?
We have reporters here, and do you know if the chamber intended the reveal to be a surprise to the family?
Surprise. Yes, it is.
So yes, it is a surprise. So
Apologize, it is a surprise.
when,
Just so we know. I appreciate, Mayor, you're saying that, because Julie did not want this.
could you speak in the microphone, please? Many people watch from home, and I'm sorry.
So this honorary street sign was intended to be something for the family. Julie felt very strongly about that, and I respect and appreciate the confidence until she's given time to make that and I'm not sure even, I'll talk to her tomorrow.
Thank
She's
you.
back
So
now.
sometime this spring, we'll do the reveal, and the
Great.
family will be present, I imagine, for that, correct?
I hope so. I'm sure they will.
Okay, very good.
Very sure they will.
Very good.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. And, pardon? I know, but I want to know if anyone else wants
Yes,
to.
Mayor, first off, I don't think there is a couple in this village more deserving of this honor. They have been pillars of this town for a long, long time, ever since I can ever remember. But at the request of the family, our commission recommended a street sign for Joanne and Jim. The family is requesting that it be Jim and Joanne Bushback.
Correct.
We make that note?
Yes, we did adjust it, and when I read the agenda item, I corrected it verbally.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. And trustee Stalker?
Yeah, when I first started the job as trustee with the village, I was charged with the responsibility of operating the Business Development Commission, and Jim Bushback was a member of that commission. He started to show me then what it was to be committed to the village through his activities there with the Park District, with the Chamber of Commerce. He's just a great man, and I really will miss him. The village of Oak Lawn will miss him. Joan has always been a strong supporter of the village, and I really loved her company, so
Yeah.
I really appreciate both of them. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Bushback did pass away recently, and so it is a fitting time to reflect on the contributions of that power couple, and they are an Oak Lawn power couple, so, Jane? Do you
I
want
don't
to
know
say
two
anything?
finer people, the second I was elected, and even before, they were so supportive, but I always gave the Bushbacks credit, because they supported everybody. You know, they never got in the middle of anything, and I don't know two finer people, so we'll miss you, Jim, and thank you, Joanne, for everything you do, and we'll continue to do.
I've always been impressed by someone who continues to go to work every day when you don't have to. Most people retire 30 years earlier than Mr. Bushback. He would still go to work. You couldn't kick him out. He loved being there. He loved his job. He loved his position. And there aren't many people, and I won't say his age, but again, well beyond normal retirement years, who just still had a passion for so many things. And he even ran for elected office, you know, at his advanced age, and you know, still was vigorous and full of ideas for the community. So anyway, any other discussion?
Yes, Matt, I'd like to just, one of the things that strikes me the most about their commitment to the community is when we started the changes for Fall on the Green in 2007, primarily because of the cost that was involved at the time, but we did a lot of different things. The information booth was something that people, generally the electeds, would volunteer in, or kids, and it was difficult to get people to volunteer, so we enticed them with tickets to the sponsor hospitality booth. And of course, then it became easy to find volunteers, but Jim and Joanne, the first ones to volunteer, didn't care about the sponsor tickets, give them away, we don't need it. They truly enjoyed being there, and it was always kind of interesting to me, and even at that time, 15, 20 years ago, I was thinking, you know, at what point does somebody say, you know, I've done enough for a community, it's time for the young people to take over, but never seemed to be that way with them, so, yeah, he will be greatly missed.
Yeah, and yeah, what a great way to honor them. So I want to thank the chamber and all the folks involved. And with that, I think everyone said their piece. Anyone else? Okay, we're going to call the vote then, please, on item 9B and C.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now we're going to go back to the regular agenda order. Thank you, Board, for being accommodating of that. We're going to go new business by village trustees. I'm going to start in District 3, Trustee Mallow.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No new business.
Thank you. District 4, Trustee Vorder.
The Oak Lawn Police Department has been a great institution ever since I've been part of it. 50 years ago, maybe, when I started, 68. It never ceases to amaze me, and it's better now than it was when I was there. Congratulations, the Oak Lawn Police Department. Congratulations, Pat O'Donnell. That's all, man.
Thank you. District 5, Trustee Stalker.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Terry said. Oak Lawn Police Department is a truly professional organization. It's a pleasure to live in this village and be served by such a hard-working, dedicated group of police officers. I will say the same about the fire department. We are truly blessed with good public servants, and I thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Stalker. District 6, Trustee Phelan.
Thank you, Mayor. Not that this was scripted, but I also want to echo what Trustee Stalker and Trustee Vorder said, but to give it a little more context, because we often hear about communities talking about how great their police and fire departments are, and you really don't have any kind of way to judge. I mean, we can provide crime statistics as we did in our mailing, just to give residents and businesses some idea of how we compare to other communities, but on a specific basis, you know, you wonder and listen to Officer O'Donnell talk about, you know, the way that the off-duty officers came in and you know, just the things he did as only a 6-year officer. It reminded me of a story that I was told by a state's attorney, and this is a couple of years ago now, but the story was that there was a crime spree of sorts where somebody was strong-arming Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin-Robbins, through a drive-through window and then going inside, usually when there were female employees late at night. And one they found, they had a video of it, and I guess the way it works, Chief, you would probably be able to fill in how this works, but you put out some sort of notice to other communities and say, we seem to have a pattern here. Does anybody else, any other police departments in the area, are you seeing this? And of course, several were, and the state's attorney in particular said he sat in a room, and as the various departments came in, he would say, what do you have? And, you know, one department says, well, we don't have anything. The description matched what you sent out. We have a person that had the same description. And he said, if one community after the next, and in came the Oak Lawn Police Department with a file, a shoe print, fingerprints. I mean, he said it wasn't even a comparison. It was almost embarrassing. In his estimation, he said, holy cow. And it was based on that evidence, the shoe print in particular, that they were able to find this guy and arrest him and put him in jail. So that's a real tangible example. And there's one other that I've told before about our former chief, Randy Palmer. A coworker of mine served on a jury for the horrific murder of the woman whose baby was cut from her womb. She lived in Alsip, and I believe that's the case, correct, Chief? And you were on the Major Crimes Task Force, and this juror, coworker of mine, told me he didn't know Randy's name, of the police officer who did the interrogations, and they played that during the trial, and the judge made a comment, and everybody's like, oh my God, you know, that was it. And I shared that, I believe, with Chief Murray at the time, because Randy was not the chief, and I've subsequently learned that those interrogations were sent to FBI Quantico and are now used in terms of training. So these are the kinds of tangible things that a lot of times people don't know about, and we don't know about, frankly. And I think it's worth noting when we talk about how good of a department we have. So I just want to point that out. I'm sorry I didn't say it in front of the rest of the guys, but it's worth noting. That's all I have.
Thank you, thank you. Any of our, Chief, looks like you were turning on your mic. Did you want to say anything?
No, I thought he wanted me to comment on
Okay.
something, but I just would like to thank the board for their support. And not only is it sometimes the detectives, they're the ones who carry the ball out over the goal line and they get the credit, but it really starts down at the patrol level, because I just recently gave out an award to over 20 officers of a use of a minor by a parent. And it all started with the first officer that got there said, hey, something's not right here. And then he called the sergeant, and then the sergeant called the evidence tech, and the next thing you know, it's a crime scene, and we're taping it off. And if it wasn't for the evidence that our evidence tech gathered at the scene, we ended up getting a conviction on that, but then it just went through the detective division. So I can't be prouder than all of them, and I thank you all for your support.
Thank you, thank you.
One more thing, Mayor.
Order.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the future for our police department and the commitment this board is making. I had two guys at my house today giving me some estimates on some construction projects, and they asked me what my agenda would be with the police department, and I says, I'm only going to make it stronger. They said, good, because that's what we want. They're Oak Lawn residents. So you can tell your force that I am, and I'm sure this board 100% is behind keeping our police department the number one. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to our village manager's report.
I just would like to echo what the board said and agree that, Chief Vittorio said, it starts the moment you get there, and without the team mentality or the team approach to these cases, a detective or an interviewer or anybody could not close these cases. So, yeah, it is a definite team environment that I experienced when I was chief, and coming up through the ranks. But again, the board, every time we've come to the board and asked for, a police officer or a squad or this or whatever piece of equipment we need, never got back on that. So I appreciate that as well, and I know Chief Vittorio and his team do, and I couldn't be prouder of the men and women either. So congratulations, and as well as our fire department and public works. The team mentality that I see every day here is quite astounding. So we should all be proud of that.
Thank you. And I just want to toss in our emergency communications too. It's all a team.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Thank
My
you.
fault for leaving them out.
Oh, no, not it.
But other than that, no business, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to move on to item 9, which is the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine and have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. 9A is a request of the Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Board of Fire and Police Commission to hire 1 firefighter paramedic and necessary promotions of 1 battalion chief, 1 captain, 1 lieutenant, and 1 engineer from the current eligibility list due to retirement. Item B and C have already been addressed. Item D, like David, a request to approve the Zoning and Planning Commission referral for parking variation at 9320 South Kenton. This was a 7-0 vote to approve. Ryan Gorey is the petitioner in District 2. E is ordinance granting that request. F is ordinance 210625. First, amending an ordinance adopted by the village board of the village on the 8th day of July 2014, authorizing and providing for the issue of regional water system revenue bonds of the village of Oak Lawn, Cook County, Illinois, for system improvements or refunding purposes or both, and providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of the system of said village. We have G, like George, ordinance 210626, a first amending an ordinance authorizing and providing for the issue of not to exceed $220 million regional water system revenue bonds, IEPA, third lien series in 1 or more series of the village of Oak Lawn, Cook County, Illinois, for the purpose of constructing improvements to the existing regional system of said village, incorporating a certain previously adopted ordinance and other documents, prescribing all the details of the said bonds and providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of the revenues of said system of said village. Ordinance 210627 is an ordinance establishing a moratorium on licensing of specialty tobacco retail establishments. Resolution 210615, resolution authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the Village of Oak Lawn and Tier 1 users of the 911 Joint Board Authority. Resolution 210616, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Pathlights pertaining to the use of certain community development block grant funds. Resolution 210617, a resolution, and I'm sorry, this is item K, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Pathlights. Did I read that already? No. Pathlights to use the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act CDBG-CV1 funds for the Shared Housing and Senior Assistance Program. L, Resolution 210618, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Beds Plus pertaining to the use of Community Development Block Grant CARES Act CDBG-CV1 funds for the Emergency Shelter Assistance Program. That was item L. Item M, like Mary, resolution 210619, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Veds Plus pertaining to the use of certain community development block grant funds, and Lake Nancy, Resolution 210620, 4th of July Parade. O, Resolution 210621, a resolution authorizing the professional services agreement with Christopher Berg Engineering Limited to perform certain engineering services pertaining to the design of the portable water delivery structure. May I have a motion, please, on 9?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. We have a motion from
Second.
Trustee Porter, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 10, Village Clerk's Report.
Right. Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2021-06D, dated March 23rd, 2021, in the amount of $1,763,079.37.
Thank you. May I have a motion on 10A, please?
Motion to pay the bills.
Thank you, Trustee Vorder. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Stalker is our second. Thank you. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
And Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes. And early voting is now going on at the Oaklawn Village Hall and continues every day through April 5th. The April 6th election is the consolidated election, and please note that early voting is now in the lower level of the Village Hall. We had a little bit of a change. And I wish everyone a happy Easter. I know it's a ways away, but our next meeting's after that, so happy Easter.
Thank you. Thank you. Under Village President's Report, I have no new business or village matters to discuss. Everything has been said so eloquently by all of you. So we're going to move on to item 12, Executive Session 2020-105, for the purpose of discussing number 1, approval of the closed meeting minutes 2020-104, dated February 23rd, 2021. The number 2, the release of closed meeting minutes from December 12th, 2017, number 2017-14, January 9th, 2018, number 2018-01, April 10th, 2018, number 2018-05, June 12th, 2018, number 2018-07, August 14th, 2018, number 2018-08, January 22nd, 2019, number 2019-02, May 28th, 2019, number 2019-05, July 24th, 2019, number 2019-07, August 13th, 2019, number 2019-08, October 14th, 2019, number 2019-09, October 22nd, 2019, number 2019-10, February 11th, 2020, number 2020-01, February 25th, 2020, number 2020-02, April 14th, 2020, number 2020-03, May 26th, 2020, number 2020-04, June 9th, 2020, number 2020-05, August 11th, 2020, number 2020-07, September 22nd, 2020, number 2020-08, November 10th, 2020, number 2020-09, January 12th, 2021, number 2021-01, January 26th, 2021, number 2021-02, February 9th, 2021, number 2103. Number 3, the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the village and for the purchase or lease of real property for use of the village. May I have a motion on 12?
Motion made.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Vorder. Do I have a
Second.
second? Second is Trustee Stalker. Any discussion, gentlemen? Let's call the vote, please.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We're going to move into executive session. Thank you, everyone. It's 8:05 PM.